All right. Well, we might have another student join us, but just want to say thank you for joining us today. And thank you to Ann Wolt and Jocelyn for joining us as well from the theater department. My name is Kylie Gottschalk. I work in the admissions office, as well as Mark is on here as well. He works in the admissions office as well. And we're really excited to talk to you about our theater department. This is our academic series, our Explore Simpson academic series. So just to give you a little more insight into the theater program, what the majors and minors entail. And so this is a chance for you to ask questions, either to Anne, to the faculty, or to Jocelyn, who's a current student. So feel free, if you have questions along the way, type them in the chat box, or at the end we'll have time for that as well. So we'll go over academics first, and then we'll give some brief admissions information, and then have time for Q&A. And so I'll hand it off to Anne.
Thank you very much, Kylie. Again, my name is Ann Wolt. I have been teaching in the department this is my 22nd year. I teach many of our performance courses, as well as classes in arts management and in voice. Again, we have Jocelyn Smith with us, a student. She is a current junior. And Jocelyn is right now serving as our undergraduate assistant for outreach and recruitment. And I'll talk a little bit more about what that is a little bit later. Okay, you can change the slide. The first thing that we're going to talk about is the academic side, talking about our majors and our minors. And right now we have the full theater major, if that's something that you're interested in doing. We also have, you can choose to do a theater minor. We also have a minor in arts management, and that's fairly new. We just started that about 3 years ago. And that really came out of a need that we knew for our students to understand the business side of running a nonprofit and that sort of thing. And if you are interested in education, then you can also get the teaching endorsement in theater as well. We offer classes in all areas of theater. Simpson College is a liberal arts college, and our department subscribes to that same philosophy. So if you are a student who is really interested in performance, that's fantastic, but you're also going to learn how to know how to run a light board when you leave here. And maybe, I don't know, even weld something if that's something that you're interested in. So all of our students study performance, they study technical theater, theater history, you take classes in directing and playwriting. So you're going to get a chance to understand all areas. And in addition to that, many of our students we have found double major. Now, I think, Jocelyn, you're a double major, correct? Yes. Okay.
Yes, I am.
Yeah, and what is your double major?
Political science.
And are you able to get out of here in 4 years?
Yeah, I think I could have graduated like through this year if I wanted to, but I don't want to.
Yeah, that's because you're Jocelyn. But but what I'm trying to say is that there is an opportunity for you to double major in something and still be able to get out of here in 4 years. Okay, you can change the next slide. Okay, we do offer scholarships and it's open to all students. I'd say 50% or so of the students that we have on scholarship right now are not majors or minors. These are students who know that maybe they don't want to go into it for their vocation, but boy, they have a passion for it. And that's what it's so important for them to keep it in their life somehow. If you come to Simpson and you decide to major in just political science, if you have that passion for theater, you can still spend time in our department. You can still be a very active member in our department. So this year, because of COVID, We are encouraging all the students who are interested in auditioning or interviewing for a scholarship. We will be doing that online. We're doing it remotely this year. So what we're asking for you to do is to simply fill out a scholarship application. And then we would like for you to provide us with a link, and that link then would take us to either, if you're interested in acting, you will perform 2 contrasting pieces. You would then record that, and then you can send us the link to be able to watch that. 2 pieces, if you're interested in acting, they should be about 60 seconds a piece. You want to try to find pieces that are age appropriate for you. You know, don't pay 50-year-old men or women and stuff. You should try to find something that is right about in your range. And it doesn't have to be anything classical. It certainly can. Or if you are interested in technical theater, we ask that you provide us with a link to a design portfolio. And all that really is, some students actually have design portfolios, but you can put something together very easily just by sending us photos of if you helped build sets in school, if you helped paint a set, if you helped design a poster or a program, stuff like that. We ask that you simply show us photos of those, and then we'll have an interview and you can sit and talk us through just everything that you did in high school. Okay. Some of the other things, if you are a scholarship student, some of the benefits, in addition to some money, and just so you know, the scholarship for theater is in addition to any other monies that you would receive. And those are $2,500 a year, and you don't have to reapply for that every year. You just have to maintain a GPA of, I think it's 2.75, and be involved in every one of our productions in some capacity. So it might be that you are acting in the show, it might be that you're working backstage, or you could even be ushering. It's just a matter of you being involved in some way. Other things that you can get from this: first, you get to become a member of our Simpson production company, which is pretty cool. At any given time, we have, I would say, estimating about 40 to 50 students who are involved in any given production, and that's what we call our Simpson Productions company. Within that, you could also explore leadership positions in some of our main stage shows. So if you think, you know what, I'd love to maybe design a set, or I'd like to assistant direct maybe. We also have positions in lighting design, costume design, sound design, props design. We've had students who work as assistant designers as well. And then all of our stage managers and assistant stage managers are also students. And then you just get to really hang out with some pretty cool people and collaborate with a lot of like-minded people, a lot of like-minded artists. And again, whether or not that's your major or not, that's sometimes where people find their home, is in the theater. Another important component to our department is what we call our guest artist program. And our guest artist program, we've been doing that for well over 20 years now. And what we do is we bring in a guest professional artist, and it could be, sometimes it's in design, sometimes in the past we've had actors come in, we've had directors come in, and the people who come and work with us will work alongside our Simpson students. Students get to know them, they get to see how they work. A part of bringing them in is that we also ask them to talk to our students about their journey. We call it a journey conversation. And that is a great way for them to share how they came from being a student, like our students are right now, to where they are now. And all journeys are different. all journeys are different. And some of our guest artists, they may have taken, I went to school for 4 years, I went to graduate school, and then I went on and I did this. Some students, some guest artists we've had, I remember one, I said I went to school for a half a semester and then left. And that was her journey. And the main thing is just to understand how you get from A to C, but then also that you are meeting professionals and you're making connections with professionals who are in this business. Okay, in addition to a full slate of performance opportunities, I want to talk, and you can go ahead and change the slide. I'd like to talk about some opportunities that you have outside the classroom. And students can become involved in a lot of different clubs or groups. Some of the things that we have at Simpson, we have APO, which is our Theater Honorary Society. We have another group called the Agents of Change Club, and that is a club that helps promote positive change on campus. We have a group called On the House, which is an improv troupe. We also have a performing arts theme house. And the Performing Arts Theme House is, you guessed it, we have a number of students. Right now, I think we've got some younger students that are in there. These are students who are involved in music and in theater. And you can actually live in a house together if you want. So, and along with the Performing Arts Theme House, once a month, they have what they call the Simpson Productions Underground. And an underground is basically an open mic night, and that is where it's open to any students on campus. It's oftentimes where you'll see, oh yeah, there's our football player who can actually sing, and he'll get up and try some things, and those are really popular. And so that is all taken care of through our Performing Arts Theme House. Next, there is an opportunity called a Research and Creativity Symposium. And I had mentioned earlier about the leadership possibilities that you have. And then if any student who decides to do a leadership position, say you are a scene designer, right? And the scene designer, as part of the process, you're involved from the very beginning concept meetings, and you are preparing renderings and sketches and things like that. And then what you will do is at the end of the year, this is a campus-wide event, you will actually take your research, take your drawings and your technical work, and you will present that at a symposium. So that's a wonderful opportunity for students. Next up, we have undergraduate assistants, and that is, I had introduced Jocelyn as an undergraduate assistant, and an undergraduate assistant has to do with work study. We do offer work study in theater, and you can work sometimes in the scene shop. You can apply to work in the costume shop and lighting. We have some students who work with props. But then as you get older, once you become a junior, you can then apply to be an undergraduate assistant, which is one step higher. It's more of a leadership position. And you can apply, we have areas in lighting, costumes, audience services. That's we actually have a student who runs our box office. We have marketing, all of the areas in technical theater. We have production, stage manager, and we also have education and outreach and recruitment, which is what Jocelyn does. In addition to that, we have various internships that our students get to do all around the country. And one thing that we don't have listed on here, that I need to make sure that we put it on there, is a couple years ago, no, it was just last year, and Jocelyn was a member of this. We help do, through the Iowa Law Enforcement Agency, we do scenario trainings. We help with mental health trainings of recruits who are then going to become police officers. And it's really about helping them to kind of learn best practices when it comes to having to learn with people with mental disabilities. So that's been an incredible opportunity for us, and it's really interesting, and we get to do some great acting. So that's another opportunity. Okay, you can go ahead and change the slide. All right, and so now we're going to talk about Simpson Productions. And first, I should let you know, Simpson Productions is fairly new as well. Last year was our first full year, and Simpson Productions is a collaboration with the music department. The music department has wonderful ensembles in instruments or in voice. They are also very well known for their opera. And what we have done is we have taken the production seasons of the theater and music departments, and we've put those together, and we have formed Simpson Productions. That has been very exciting for us. It's been great for our students. It also makes our department very unique because there's not many departments where you have the opportunity to do straight plays, as well as musicals, as well as full operas with a full orchestra. So if you're performing in something like that, or you're designing for something like that, that's amazing if you can get that kind of opportunity while you're in college. Due to COVID, of course, as many performing arts programs are finding out, we had to scratch our original season. And that really had to do with that we can't have any full productions as far as having audiences and things like that. So we knew we needed to find a unique way to deal with that. And because no matter what, we were still going to have performances. We are still going to have students be able to design, to do their research. And so what we have done is we have created a season that is going to be mostly online. The first show that we have is called Prospera's Island, and that's an operatic fantasia. That is a devised piece that is being devised by Jennifer Ross Nestrala, who's in the theater department, and Dr. Bernard McDonald, who is the head of the opera program. They have combined Shakespeare and opera and have created Prospera's Island. Now that's going to, what they are doing with that is they are filming it. They're actually treating it almost as a film, so they'll be filming it like a film. So our students are getting some wonderful opportunities with that. And that will go up in October, and that will be available online. So if that's something, if you're interested in seeing our shows, they're going to be available online for you to watch. So that makes it a lot better for some students who wouldn't be able to come. Our second show is A Christmas Carol, a staged radio play. And that is based on the actual 1939 Orson Welles radio play that they did of A Christmas Carol. It's the same script. We were able to get all of the rights for that. And that, again, is going to be, they are rehearsing it. It will be performed as if it was a play, and it is a play, but it is also being recorded. So you will be able to watch that online as well. So yeah, both of those are being filmed. And then to kind of round out our fall season, we are going to be doing a podcast called the Festival of New Plays. And these are students, if you are a playwright, or you wanted to try your hand at playwriting, the deadline was yesterday, and our students have submitted 10-minute plays, and that's going to be presented as a podcast, and that will happen in November too. So if that's something that you're interested in. Okay, you can change the screen. Okay, and then we have our spring productions. And again, we have opera, another opera double bill. And that is being directed by Mimi Kammer, another professor in our department, with Dr. McDonald. And it's an opera double bill of The Telephone and The Hand of Bridge. We will then do a fully staged production of Machinal by Sophie Treadwell. Again, much like A Christmas Carol, it is going to be staged, it will be performed, but also then recorded. So you'll be able to see that. And then we are keeping our fingers crossed that we may actually be able to have a staged with audience production of our Festival of Short Plays. And that's not happening until April, so we're keeping our fingers crossed. But if we have to, we know that we can always record that if we need to. And that I am producing that. However, our Festival of Short Plays every year are directed and designed all by students. And it's usually based on a theme of some kind. And this year that theme is called Theater Between the Wars. It's American Theater Between the Wars. And so between World War I and World War II. And that was kind of during the time of the Federal Theater Project, and some really exciting political theater was being done then. So that's what we're going to be concentrating on then. Okay. Let's see. Oh, something that I want to make sure that people understand is that we run our company, our Simpson Productions company, we run it like a professional theater. And as I had mentioned before about leadership positions and things, any student who is involved in that, in any of the productions, especially if it's a leadership production, you're going to be involved from the very beginning. And you're going to understand about production deadlines. You're going to understand about budgets. You're going to understand and attend production meetings. And so by the time then you get to tech, you have been involved from the very, very beginning. And so it's important to us because we found that the students who really take advantage of as many diverse opportunities as they can while they're here are the ones that do the best when they leave us. And our goal is, sorry, I have a dog that just stepped on me, sorry. Okay, our goal is to give you the tools needed to be as successful as possible. Of course, you have to use them, but we're hoping to help you be as successful in this business as possible. So that is a little bit about our department. So I will now hand it back over to Kylie.
Thank you so much. So now that you understand a little bit more about our theater department, the different majors, minors, all the programs and productions, the next step is to kind of understand admissions a little better and what it takes to get here. So just some brief information about Simpson. We have about 1,200 full-time undergraduate students, and 100% of our students receive, full-time students receive financial assistance in some form of grant, scholarships, student loans, things like that. So 100% of our students do receive some form of financial aid. So we make it very attainable for students to attend a private liberal arts school. About 12-to-1 student to faculty ratio. So you'll have professors that know your name, know your interests and your goals, and will help connect you with people, in their networks, help you find internships and job shadow opportunities, and maybe even jobs after you graduate. So a very committed group of faculty, and then the smaller class sizes that help you really get to know your other classmates and your professor. And we have about 80, I think it's now officially 74 different majors, minors, and pre-professional programs. So like Ann said, you can decide to double major like Jocelyn is doing at a minor and still graduate in 4 years. So it's a lot of the students that come to Simpson are students that are interested in various different things and want to be involved in a variety of student organizations and clubs and studies and things like that. And so that's the type of student we tend to attract, are students that are interested in being involved in many different things. And the theater program is kind of a testament to that, because you don't have to be a theater major and you can still take part in all the great things they have to offer. So you definitely have lots of options when it comes to our academic programs. And for our graduates, about 99% are employed or in graduate school within 6 months of graduation. So, our really amazing faculty combined with the rigorous academic programs and everything else that there is to do at Simpson really sets you up for success after you're done. at Simpson. And so really, really great placement rate that prepares you for your career in the future. And then of course, internship programs, we have a term that is trademarked called exploreships. And so that includes internships, job shadowing, research, study abroad, all these different ways you can, prepare for your career after you graduate. And so students take advantage of those opportunities in multiple different ways. They'll do all of them. They'll do, a bunch of research projects, or they'll study abroad multiple times, or take part in multiple internships. It's really up to you, but we really put a heavy focus on, combining the things you learn in the classroom to the real world skills that you'll need to excel in your career. So some next steps. So if you haven't already, apply to Simpson. There's no fee to apply, and the application takes about 20 minutes or so. It's pretty quick, and there's a portion that asks to write about a little about yourself. We always encourage that you do that just so we can get to know you better. But it's, there's no required essay portion to the application. You do have to submit, have your school send us your transcripts, any test scores. If you have taken the ACT or SAT, we do offer a test optional choice for students. And so if you feel like your test score does not reflect, your ability as a student, and you don't want it considered in your application or for admission, you do not have to include that. But some students feel like, it complements their academic record. And so they want to submit it or want to take the ACT or SAT. So it's totally up to you. But the application, we have rolling admissions. So you can apply anytime starting, back in July, I think our application opened. So it's quick and easy, and it's free. And then beginning October 1st, you can file FAFSA. And so once you file the FAFSA, the free application for federal student aid, we'll be able to create a student aid package for you. I can't remember the official term of it right now. But we'll be able to create, your package. So it'll talk about your scholarships, any grants you qualify for, any student loans you qualify for. So starting October 1st, you can file that, or your parents can file that. And so once we have that, we'll be able to get you your financial aid notice. That's what it's called. So, and then after that, between any of this, you can set up a campus visit. So right now you're doing one of our virtual options, which is great. This is how we're reaching out to students now that we're virtual in many ways. And so, but you can also still come to campus. So we are accepting visitors on campus. And so you'd be able to meet with Anne in person, or any other faculty you're interested in meet with an admissions counselor, and other students to get a tour of campus. So you can pick the time and date that's best for you, but you can come on campus. We do have in place many precautions for COVID, like masks and social distancing and things like that. But there are multiple options to visit campus and see what we're all about. So we have a fall events calendar on the website, so you can check that out, but we have Saturday visit days as well. So many different options.